I grew up in Crown Heights, in Brooklyn. It's a Chabad community. I went to Oholei Torah, which is the biggest yeshiva in Crown Heights. I would say the main yeshiva in Crown Heights, where the majority of the Jewish families send their children to. So first of all, our days were really long. In first grade, our day started at 9, ended at 4, which is pretty much average. But as the years went on, the days got longer. By the time I was finished elementary, our days ended at 6 p.m. In high school, our days began at 7:30 a.m. and ended at 9:30, sometimes later.
Wow, so that's a 14
Sometimes
hour.
almost 10 o'clock at night. From 10 to 11, we would do Torah study, the actual text from the Torah, with some commentary later on in later years of elementary. At 11 o'clock, we had a short break for 20 minutes. Some kind of also, I think we continued with Torah study, some ancient biblical history, if that qualifies as history. I'm not sure, but more biblical studies, and then we had a break for lunch, and then we continued with Mishnayos. That's like some commentary on Torah.
I noticed you didn't mention any secular studies in your school day. Why was that?
Because we did not have any secular studies at all.
Hold on, not at all?
Nothing.
Even in elementary school?
Even in elementary school, in high school as well, no secular studies.
Wow. This is Oholei Torah.
This is Oholei Torah. We never, most of our classes were actually given in Yiddish. We never wrote in English. We were writing in Hebrew. We were kind of speaking in English, writing in Hebrew. When I graduated high school, I wasn't fluent in any of those languages. Our yeshiva was unique because, as they call it in Chabad, the Rebbe's yeshiva. It was founded under his leadership, and he advocated for no secular studies at all for his followers. So this was the first yeshiva, as far as I know, that actually had no secular education at all. There's an incident I recall from 5th grade in the backyard where we used to play. So we had neighbors right there. We would call them the N-word all the time. When we were hanging out there, we would just yell the N-word at them, just from pure ignorance. Mm-hmm. We had no clue that it was something bad. I mean, we obviously knew that it antagonized them, but we didn't know to what degree. One day, the police came in with the neighbor, and our principal, and they wanted to make us aware of the issue that what we were doing. And I actually remember that our, not my teacher, but the teacher in the next class over, when we lined up outside our classroom before we went down to the room where we all heard the speech. So he was kind of trying to justify the reason that they're giving this speech. He told his class that the people of color in our community are the bad ones, and he said, "What have they done to you that makes you upset at them? I want everyone to raise their hand to tell me what they have done to you." And he went through each kid. I said, "Oh, they did that to you. They did that to you. That to you. Okay. Oh, here. Okay. So you should still not say that word to them, but do you understand that we are better?" Mm-hmm. That was the point of his little talk, and as a 5th grader, this stuck in my head.
Are you saying racism was prevalent?
100%. Like I said, it was encouraged.
Did you have no black kids in your class?
No, we only had boys, and only Hasidic boys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about staff? Were there any black teachers?
There were no black teachers. There were no women. The only people who were not Hasidic were the people who were cleaning the dining room. Mm-hmm. They were immigrants. Yeah, those were the only ones. Mm-hmm. In New York City, which is the most diverse city in America. When I have to tell my story to people at school, they're asking me like, why didn't you get your high school diploma? You didn't finish high school? I say, well, I actually went to high school. I mean, I went through the entire system, but our system is not recognized because we didn't have any studies practically. All we were studying were Judaic ancient studies. Mm-hmm. So when I was taking this high school equivalency program in Brooklyn College, and they asked us to write an essay, we were never given essays to write, never. And I never wrote a paper in English. I've never done that. And whatever we wrote was never on any topic that they would give us. It was all about if my cow hit your cow in the streets of Jerusalem, 300 BCE. That's all we were taught. So I didn't know anything about modern studies, anything about civil rights. That was a big thing for me. That was to learn about the whole civil rights issue that America has gone through. I was really shocked by that. So just general information, history, we didn't know anything. When they hear that I went through the entire system and I went to a private school for elementary and high school, and we had no secular education at all, they're completely shocked. My teacher was shocked, the classmates were shocked. I mean, I'm shocked.
Who do you think is to blame for this whole lack of education in Hasidic yeshivas?
Our government. Our government has laws in place that are supposed to prevent these kind of situations, and they don't implement them at all. Mm-hmm. They're not doing anything about it. They see this go on in multiple communities in Brooklyn, and students are graduating high school without any skills at all, and they're totally looking past it.
So, your father chose to send you to Oholei Torah, I'm assuming. Oholei Torah chose not to provide you with an education. Why are you blaming the government?
That's like blaming the bat with which someone hit you for hurting you. I mean, the yeshiva that I went to didn't give any education to us. They didn't teach us any secular studies. But we are in a system that we're supposed to be getting an education provided by our government, by the Department of Education. They're not enforcing it. They're seeing this happen. The real issue is that our Department of Education doesn't care about this going on. This has an effect for generations. If the yeshiva didn't provide us with any education that would give us any skills to move on to college or to the workforce, so I'm not going to be able to have a proper income, which means my children won't, and it's gonna have everlasting effect. Mm-hmm. It's the issue of poverty here.